Hey, this is Mark Foster from MTC Media. Usually, I would be doing this from out on the floor. There is a massive changeover as I guess the Caps played the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. So things are being ripped up. There's equipment all over the place, and so it was hard finding the spot to do post game wrap up from. But we found here on the back for those who are familiar with Cap One Arena, you know exactly where I am. Georgetown with an 83-72 win over Mount St. Mary's. Not the I wouldn't say it's the cleanest win. Once again, Georgetown had problems with turnovers. They turned the ball over 20 times. A lot of those turnovers were live ball turnovers. And to be frank with you, it was the only reason why this game was even close at halftime. Georgetown had led by as many as 17 the first half, was up 43 to 31 at halftime. Was a lot of it was Mount St. Mary's was able to stay in because Georgetown struggled protecting the ball. Jaden Epps had 5 turnovers in the first half. Rowan Brumbaugh had 3 in the first half. It was 8 combined. And in fact, in the second half, uh, Cam Bacardi started as opposed to Rowan Brumbaugh. And the turnovers were a little bit better in the second half as they got more and more defensive stops, which helped for them not to turn the ball over. But a lot of those live ball turnovers weren't even forced. There was times that Epps wasn't even forced into a turnover. There were bad decisions. There was times they ran up the sideline knowing that Mount St. Mary's was trying to press, and you're running not only back towards the basket, but you back towards the basket with an angle going to the sideline. I mean, it's just little basic stuff like that, and then you get trapped. You got guys dribbling off their legs. It's a lot of things there to be fixed, but to be fair, and I talked about this in the pregame, Georgetown really doesn't have a primary ball handler. Those guys are being asked to be a primary ball handler that aren't truly primary ball handlers. So that certainly was an issue throughout the game. Um, there's a couple of breakdowns in that first half, backdoor cuts, but ultimately, I thought that Cooley's biggest move was in the last 2 minutes or so going zone and getting Mount St. Mary's out of rhythm. Dontrez Styles ended with 26 points and 8 rebounds. Jay Heath had 17 points, 8 rebounds. Pretty cool. 17 points and 8 rebounds. And Epps, 10 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and then the 6 turnovers. But there was some good there. I thought that Georgetown getting off to a 7-0 start. Something I thought was very important in a game like this was getting to that fast start. Styles' first few shots of the game, they were wide open, great spacing, great movement on the action, reversing to him, getting into the corner. So he jumps off. He jumps off clean, gets off to this big start, being 5 for 6, 3 for 3 early on. Then that kind of catapulted him to a good game. Now, if you get past the turnovers and you look at Georgetown from an offensive execution point of view, there's very little to complain about. For the game, they ended up shooting over 50%. It was 50.8% for the game, 30. You know, the lighting here completely stinks. 38.4% or 36.4% from 3. So it wasn't an execution thing. It wasn't an action thing. Again, a lot of it was Georgetown shooting themselves in the foot. And a lot of it, I wouldn't even say that Mount St. Mary's forced as much as Georgetown put themselves in a bad position. But let me tell you, the actions were getting so many open looks. And then in the second half, Georgetown made it a point to get the ball early, download the Supreme Cook, who started dominating inside, even giving more space for Georgetown's ball handlers in the half court. But it's quick turnaround. American comes here. The Cap won tomorrow at 4:30. And so that really doesn't give you time to fix some stuff. 41 turnovers the last 2 games. There is no break in between the 2 games to even address it. And even then, I don't know how much of it is addressing as much as from a physical or schematic point of view, as much as it's addressing from guys, you're here for a reason and you're on this level for a reason. And your play and your turnovers don't reflect the level of basketball you're on. And again, a lot of it is fair or unfair, them being asked to do some things that they probably hadn't been asked to do full time on a level that's not always forgiving. but we haven't even gotten to the hard part of the schedule yet. So haven't gotten to Big East play. And then we have guys who like to sit on you defensively, or teams like St. John's who want to run it up and down and trap stuff like that. You're preparing for those type of games with these games. But of course, also you need to win these games. And I even asked Coach Cooley in the post game press conference, what do you do? Where's the balance between making sure the young guys learn, and so you have to give them some grace to make the mistakes, and also winning the game because he's here to win the game. And he spoke about that. You can catch that all in the post game presser, which will be posted to our YouTube site with everything that Cooley had to say after the game. So certainly go to the YouTube site, subscribe, and that way you can get all of our content, and you can have you can listen in on what Cooley had to say after the game, and also what Mount St. Mary's coach had to say after the game, because he definitely said that they were looking to pressure Georgetown's ball handlers because they knew that Georgetown had some issues with that. But overall, Georgetown breaks that 2-game losing streak. If you're looking for some good things, again, the shooting percentage being over 50%, the domination on the boards 45-29, getting them 19 second chance points. What I did like offensively was 9 fast break points, and Jaden Epps starting off the game trying to get to the basket, couple of straight line drives, get in there, and then that kind of got him in rhythm. He steps back, gets a 3 a few possessions later, but got in the rhythm early with going to the basket and finishing. And now for Georgetown, it's going to be a game tomorrow where AU is going to do some similar things defensively. They're going to want to play fast. They're going to play up and down. That's what head coach Dwayne Simpkins has brought to AU, unlike Mike Brennan. So it's a whole different team and a whole different philosophy on the AU side. But I do think for Georgetown, in a sense, it plays in their hands, because then it comes down to if they take care of the ball, there are things that they can have an advantage of. Now, and I'll talk about this in the pregame, just at first blush, you got to be excited. If you're looking for the game inside the game, you got to be excited to see Supreme Cook against Matt Rogers. That might be a out-and-out battle of guys who play well with their back to the basket, guys who play in the post, guys who are physical and will bang and get on the board. So Cook and Rogers definitely will be a matchup you're going to want to pay attention to tomorrow for AU. And then the backcourt. AU's guards can be pesky. Georgetown will need to stay in front of their guards, stay in front of Sprouse and those guys too. But we'll get all to that in our AU pregame tomorrow at 4:30. Well, tip is at 4:30 prior to tip tomorrow. So, hey, this will be the third game in 24 hours here. So I'm about to sign off. We'll see you tomorrow with Georgetown pregame, and later Georgetown postgame. This is Marcus Washburn, MTC Media.